Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. Today I'm excited to bring to you Homemade Donairs and Sauce. Today's recipe is a viewer's request recipe and thank you for asking for that one. Of course, this is not anything traditional for us here in Newfoundland and Labrador, but this recipe has been around in restaurants for probably over 30 years or more, and our younger generation have kind of took a taste and a flavor for that nice meat that's just shaved off and put between pita bread or whatever type of bread you like. But today I'm going to show you my spin on it. It's a homemade, of course, so it's something that you can do at home yourself. If this recipe interests you and you like to know how to make it, stick around and let's get started. I guess the traditional way of making donairs is with lamb, ground lamb. But of course I'm not going to be using that here today. I got lean ground beef and I got ground turkey. So it's 1.5 pounds of all together. So whichever you have, 1 pound of the ground beef, 1/2 pound of the turkey, ground turkey, that's entirely up to you. Over here is our seasonings and spices that we're going to be using. I'll tell you that as we go. And on this side is for our sauce. And I'll explain that to you as we go. And that's a nice sweet donair sauce. So first what I'm going to do is put this in my mixer. And I'll add all the seasonings and I'll tell you as we go. So I'm going to toss the meat into the bowl first. And what I got there is 1 pound of the lean ground beef and 1/2 pound of the turkey. But like I said again, you can use whatever you got available. So pretty much you can do this by hand or with the mixer. I'm going to use the mixer today, but I'm going to knead it after with my hands, and I'll show you that as we go. 1 teaspoonful of sea salt or salt of choice. I'm going to be putting in there 1 teaspoonful of ground garlic, or you could use garlic cloves. You could use 2 garlic cloves. We got, and that was 1.5 teaspoonfuls of garlic and 1 teaspoonful of onion powder, because it's got a little bite of garlic in here, so we want to make sure we got a little bit extra. So that was 2 tablespoonfuls of flour. Now I've got here 1/8 teaspoonful of cayenne pepper. You could use more if you like to have it a little spicier, and that is totally up to you. I got 1 teaspoonful of Italian spice or seasoning. Now 1/2 teaspoonful of pepper, 1/2 teaspoonful of coriander. Now I'm going to be giving you the recipe in under this video, so you're going to have access to all of the amounts if you want to check it out there. And all I'm going to do now is mix this until it's all blended together and all of the seasonings and spices is incorporated, and I'll show you that. Okay, my machine is a little noisy, so I can't keep it on while I'm mixing it. But pretty much all I'm doing is incorporating all of those spices and seasonings together, like I was saying, and then giving it a good mix. Now usually they say don't over mix ground beef because it'll be tough, but in this case you need to mix it enough to have the consistency of a real firm, I'm going to say, meat, and that way you can shave it better when it's cooked. I'll talk a little bit about that more. I'm going to let this go around one more time and then I'm going to knead it. Pretty much now I'm going to toss it out onto my counter, because sometimes my mixer don't get all of the spices that's gone to the bottom, and I want to mix everything in there. So pretty much what you're doing now is going to knead it together like this by hand, just to make sure all of the spices and seasonings is mixed in together and all of the air pockets is out of the meat, because we're going to be rolling this into a log. And if you don't want to do that, you can do bake it as well, just in a bread pan. But this is going to be put together like with a skirt through it to be a rotisserie log. And I'm going to talk more about that and let you know what that is. So now I'm going to get my hands clean, grab some foil wrap, and I'm going to make this into a log. So pretty much all I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my hands again because this is messy, and I know you could probably put gloves on, but you'll be taking the gloves on and off, so you're best to probably use your hands, and then you could just keep cleaning them in between while you're making it. So like I was saying, there's a couple of ways to make, it's probably many ways to make this. This is the way that I would do it when we're making it for us. I like making it into a log. We got a recipe on there for mousse bologna, and it's pretty much the same method as this because you've got to give this meat time to sort of build up those flavors. So it goes anywhere from 1 hour to 24 hours resting period in your fridge after you got it formed into the log, or you could put it into a bread pan and flatten it out in there and just have it that way and shave off the meat when it's cooked. But I like doing it this way. Now I'm going to show you this part. So pretty much you're just forming it into a log, flattening either side, and then you're going to take yourself a skewer and you're going to poke through the middle. You can have whatever. You can have whatever type you got, of course. The one that is on your rotisserie, I got on the other one that I got made. And you can have one like this just to keep it in place. I'm going to wash my hands again, and then I'm going to roll this into the foil wrap. Like I said, this could be messy, but it's a good kind of messy because you're gonna love this. This is something that you can treat your family with, a surprise, or you can just make it up and have it there to have for lunches all week long. So you want to have where you can see the tip of your skewer, and just pinch this together like this, leaving that on the outside, and the same thing on the other side. And just pinch it together, leaving that outside like that. Now I'm going to tell you a couple of ways that you could cook this. So first off, before I share the cooking tips, you got to take this now and you got to put it into your fridge. And again, anywhere from 1 hour, that's giving it time to firm up a little bit more and to get those spices and seasonings going through it. Or put it in there and cook it the next day. About the same time, 24 hours. And then when you go to cook it, you can cook it in your pan like this. Piece of parchment paper in case there's a little bit of juice that bubbles it over, and then put it on the top of it like this. Or you can put it down into the pan like that, or put it all the ways in the pan without the foil wrap. Now that's entirely up to you, but this is the way that I like doing it. And also for baking, you can bake it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour and a half, or the internal temperature to be around 180, 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Or you could put it in your air fryer and cook it on the rotisserie stage, and then check the internal temperature there. Or if it's a nice sunny day and you wanted to do it on your barbecue, you could cook it out on your barbecue. So that's giving you 3 options to cook this, and you can cook it any time of the year. I got one donair in advance that I put in the fridge that I'm going to be putting in my air fryer today, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the one that I've done in advance, 24 hours in the fridge, and I got it on my rotisserie skewer. And I'm going to just show you the meat after it's at time to rest. You can see it there. It's almost like it's just baked together firmly. So I want to put this back on because I'm going to be cooking it with the foil in my rotisserie in the air fryer. And again, like I said, you decide what works for you. In mine here, I can put, I'm going to show you now what mine looks like and how it works. I'm pretty much going to put mine in there like this, and with the rotisserie, it's just going to go, it's going to get equal cooking, and and for less time than it would be in the oven. When mine is cooked, I'm going to show you what it looks like. But again, you can cook it as well in the oven or with your barbecue. So what I'm going to do now is probably, I would say to Raymond, probably close the door to turn it on. And then I'm going to put it on chicken. And then what I'm going to do is show you how to make the sauce. And then I'm going to let this go cooking. So what we're going to do first, we're going to toss in half a cup of milk. And we're going to have the heat on about a medium heat. 1.5 teaspoonfuls of garlic powder, half a teaspoonful of sea salt, and 2 tablespoonfuls of sugar, and you might need a little bit more, but that's to taste, and 1 teaspoonful of canola oil or vegetable oil, and then stir that together. So what we got here is 2 tablespoonfuls of cornstarch, and we got half a cup of water. And we're going to put that in a mason jar or a measuring cup, and just to mix it around, because we need this to thicken our sauce. And right here in this dish, I got 2 tablespoonfuls of white vinegar, and we're going to toss that in gradually, stirring it in, and then we'll put in the thickening. Sorry about that. So after it starts to warm there, start pouring in the cornstarch and water, and continue mixing then until it starts to thicken, and then we'll take it off the stove. So when you see that it's starting to bubble like this and it's thick enough, this is a good time now for you to taste it. If you want a little bit more sugar, you can add it in there. If you want a small amount more of the garlic, it's to your taste now. But this is the way that I feel that I can remember it tasting like. And Raymond's after testing it, and he loves Donair sauce. He puts it pretty much over.
You got to admit, besides being behind the camera, it's nice to be a taster.
Oh yeah, you know, you want to be a taster. So now we like putting our Donair sauce into a squirt bottle, but right now I'm just going to put it into this dish for you to see it, and that's pretty much all you need to do with that.
There we go.
That's it.
Good as it gets.
Good as it gets. Okay, so my Donair is baked in the air fryer. I put it on rotisserie chicken, and I put it there for about an hour. It's 40 minutes on 370, and then I just put it through for part ways of the other one. But in the oven is an hour and a half for about on 350 for an hour and a half. So now what I'm going to show you is what it looks like, and we'll have some. Now I'm going to remove this. Oh my, look at the juice in there, Raymond. I mean, you know, we got to keep that.
Oh, big
I'm just going to put this off to the side. Yeah. I know it's called juice and fat, but I guess a little bit of fat too makes it nice as well. So now this is what it looks like. Of course, in the stores you'll see them with it up like this, and then you would shave it off in the restaurants, and they got it on the rotisserie that goes this way. I'm not as fortunate as that. Again, I'm going to shave some off here now. Keep out to this skewer because it's too hot to touch.
Don't burn your fingers.
Right? And then we're going to shave some off and show you what that looks like. Just look. Got a fork there now, Raymond. So I'm hoping that that's going to work for me, because this here is really hot. I like to keep it on that for a little. And you got to shave it like this. Little small shavings of this Donair meat for making your sandwich. And of course, traditionally you will be serving it on pita pita bread, but unfortunately I don't have pita bread here today, and I said to Raymond, no, I could show him how to make it, but I'm just going to use some freshly made bread and a couple of those tortilla wraps. Just look at this. Isn't this just...
I think it's going to taste good.
I'm going to give you this little one because it's not as hot.
Any bread.
I think so too, Raymond. I agree. So I hope that our viewer that requested this is excited to make it. Again, this is not the traditional way, of course, but it is definitely just as good. And I know that Raymond is not going to complain, not one bit. Right? You know,
I'm just hoping that you don't hear me chewing on this side of the camera, which I'm sure you do. But
if he complains, we got a problem here. But this is it. Isn't this ever lovely? Now I'm going to make up a nice sandwich. So pretty much what I'm going to do here today, I'm just using my taco shell or burrito wrap and some toast, and I'm going to put it together with some shredded lettuce, egg lettuce, some red onion, and some tomato chopped. And I'm going to show you that a little bit closer, and with a donair sauce. So first I'm going to spread some of that sauce over my wrap, and again, whoops, over this
and over me.
over Raymond, and over the counter, and you know, so I'm going to put it all over so that everyone is going to have a little taste of it, of course. So of course you're going to put on the ingredients that you like having, and I'm going to add another little small amount of that sauce. This is the one I had in the fridge, so the tip is probably just a little just being a little tormenting there. So pretty much you're just going to go like this and keep it together. If you're going to be serving it to your family and friends, put a little piece of paper towel or something on it to represent like that. I should have it a little bit higher up so you can see it, because that's down a bit further. And this one there, the same. You can have yourself a nice sandwich, again, with a little small amount of that lettuce, tomato and onion, more sauce. So I had to give up on my squirt, and I'm just going to put a small amount of the sauce that we just made on there. And then what you can do is put it between another piece of bread. Now you can serve it this way, or serve it in your traditional pita bread. Good as it gets. That's it. I can't wait to taste it.
No, and like, you know, you got to admit, you could have one of each if you wanted to.
Well, you know, Raymond, you can have one of each. You know you will. Oh, it's so funny.
Too good.
So I hope our viewer that requested this recipe is excited, and that she could make it on her own for her friends and her family, and maybe you won't be homesick anymore because you can make it yourself. But still, come home for a visit and get to have it at your favorite restaurant. I'm going to have a little taste. I'm going to eat that sandwich later, because we both just said, which one are you going to have? And I want the sandwich. I want that crispiness. And I just want to sit down and enjoy it. But I'm going to have a little taste of this. The balance of flavors. You can taste the garlic and the Italian spice. It don't have that bite from the cayenne pepper, but if you want to have that bite, you put in a little bit more. I only put in an eighth of a teaspoonful. But you make it to meet your taste. The same thing with the donair sauce. Raymond said that it needs to be a little more on the sweeter side. That's what he could remember of it. So whatever way you like it, if you like it more on the garlic side or more on the sweet side, you decide what works for you. 2 thumbs up. I can't wait for you to make it. So of course I'm going to leave you my recipe, and under this link, not the traditional recipe, because again this is made with a ground beef mixture and a turkey mixture of the lean beef. So it'll be there. If you can't access it there, visit us on our Facebook page or our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com. And you can also send me a message at bonitakitchen@gmail.com. I'd love to send it to you if you can't find it there on our site. So now I'm going to put the kettle on and I'm going to make myself and Raymond a cup of tea. We're going to sit down with our baskets and we're going to enjoy that sandwich. Donairs and the Donair sauce. So we're not going to take any more of your time. We know it's precious, and we'd like to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. On behalf of myself, Raymond, and our team, and from our kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's Kitchen to yours, Bonita's Kitchen.